Hello everyone, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3 Overexplained. Last time we learnt about passive checks and did a little bit of exploring before then meeting and recruiting Astarion, as well as getting everybody leveled up to level 2. So having dealt with this mind flare, we are ready to press on. And so we're going to move up through here. Now you can see here there is a band of fire. If we walk through that, we will start taking 1d4 damage per turn. But we can jump over the surface instead, and as long as you don't see a ghost of yourself appear, you will jump from directly where you are. But if we try and jump from outside of this circle, you can see that we can't jump that far, so our little preview ghost steps into the flames there. So to avoid standing in the flames at all, we want to make sure that we're jumping within our range. We jump over the flames, and then our allies jump over the surface as well, so they do not become injured. And then let me just get my bearings here. So we're going to come up in this direction.
With haste.
Over to the left there is where we'll be progressing in a little while, but first we want to try and gain a fourth member of our party. If we head over here, you might recognize Lae'zel up here in the cage. And so we have a few options here. We could go in all guns blazing, or we can try the discussion approach. And you'll see on the map currently, everybody is labelled in yellow on the minimap, which means they are not directly threats to us. So we can approach and then make a decision rather than being attacked immediately as we walk up.
Zoru was right. Yellow as a toad, twice as ugly.
The thing's dangerous. Leave it for the goblins to kill.
And if it escapes, how will you... Oh, a guest.
Your skull pounds in response to the prisoner's white-hot stare. Her lips don't move, yet you hear her voice.
You again. Get rid of them.
So this is not us speaking to Lae'zel, but us to the tieflings. Oh no, you abandoned me on the ship, why should I help you? Is directly speaking to Lae'zel. Deception, the creature is dangerous. Let get out of here and leave it to me. Persuasion, shoot the trap down. We must kill her before it harms someone. We can attack the tieflings directly, or we can leave. So our goal here is to try and recruit Lae'zel back into our party. And so to do that, we can either force the tieflings to leave, or we can shoot the trap down, or we can attack the tieflings. Now, if we attack the tieflings, it will be 3 against 2. But if we can get Lae'zel into the fight first, it will be 4 against 2. So we're going to use our persuasion here and tell them to shoot the trap down. We must get her killed before she harms someone else. But then we can obviously play both sides. So the DC is 5, so not a hard check.
He's right. No one's safe if that thing goes loose. Not even us.
Damaze?
Enough. Lower the trap. Ready your blade.
So they're going to open the trapdoor underneath where she is stood. And now before initiative is rolled...
You've but one chance. Join me or die.
And then we have a choice of attacking the tieflings or attacking Lae'zel. So we are going to attack the tieflings.
No!
You lying rat!
Then initiative is rolled. And we get a first instance of inspiration that I think we've seen. So inspiration in Dungeons & Dragons tabletop is something that the DM, or sometimes the players among themselves, can offer to each other as kind of a reward for particularly good role-playing or for particularly good thinking or critical thinking, just an extra reward kind of outside the scope of what the characters are doing themselves, but reward for the player. And so here, if we hit J, was it J? P. P. So each character had a background, and when we picked our background for Gothic Lord, we picked Charlatan. And so here we can see we've received a point of inspiration for flexible diplomacy. Betray the tieflings, convincing them to free Lae'zel. So I didn't know I was going to get that, but because we played in a manner that is in line with the background we chose, we've been granted this point of inspiration. And you can see up here, inspiration we currently have 1 of 4. So it's a resource that can be used, but you can only have a maximum of 4 of them. And when you make a check, such as a persuasion check or a sleight of hand thieves tools check later, if we fail, we can use that inspiration to re-roll that check. But for now, we are in initiative, and we have our 2 foes here. So we have Astarion and Gothic Lord on shared initiative at the top.
Time for a cull.
With Astarion, we can see that these 2 aren't really looking over in our direction very much. So if we step up into these bushes here,
Let's move.
of course we move on our own in initiative, we don't bring the whole party with us. We can now use our bonus action to try and hide. Now in tabletop, hiding would be a full action for all characters and a bonus action for a rogue in their cunning action, but currently it's programmed that hide is a bonus action for everybody. But if we hide as Astarion now,
Let's find some prey.
so we failed to hide. Somebody was seeing where we had chosen our spot. So we're not going to be able to sneak attack, but we can still make a standard ranged attack against our enemies. Against Damaze, it's a standard attack, but the other tiefling is lower than us on the ground because we've climbed this small cliff. So if we attack her, you'll see that we have +2 high ground there on the left. So we're going to attack the one we have a better chance of hurting. And we do 4 damage.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
Then we have Gothic Lord here. Right now, I don't think we need to worry about using our more high damage spells. So what we're going to do here is just our Firebolt cantrip. And we have the same chance of hurting both of them. So we will take the injured one and try and reduce the numbers down to 1 villain rather than 2. Because I would rather have 1 dead person and another person at full health, because that's only going to be taking 1 action in a full round of combat, than 2 people who are both slightly injured, because that's going to be 2 actions in a full round of combat. So I want to take out 1 person and kill them before starting on the next one where applicable. So another 5 damage there. And we will climb up into the overgrowth here. The bushes aren't going to give us any mechanical advantage, but as you saw, being up on this cliff might help our future attacks. My Mesa hit Gothic Lord with a hamstring shot. You can check that over here in the log.
On my way.
Oh, no, Shadowheart. I wanted the plus symbol. So, Gothic Lord's movement speed has been reduced by 50% because they rolled a 9 +2 proficiency +2 dex for 13. And we can't see... Oh, there's the check. So, the hamstring shot's difficulty class was 14. We rolled a 2 +2 proficiency +2 constitution modifier for only a 6. So we failed that and now have only half of our movement speed until that condition resolves. Shadowheart now has her full turn, less the movement we wasted, but there are still 2 foes up here. We could try and attack with a bow, or we could try and attack with a spell. We'll try the bow out. 7 is very good. Now Lae'zel's going to take a turn. She's currently controlled by the computer. She used Lacerate, but the graphics aren't keeping up. There it is. Now, Lae'zel tried to take 2 actions during that turn, and we'll get to how she did that later. But for now, we want to just continue attacking our foe here. If we try and move over to here, we can try and hide again. And so now we are outside of these vision cones. No one can actively see us. So we now have the hiding condition. So because we have hiding, you have advantage on all attack rolls. So that means we're going to roll a d20 twice and attack with the higher of those two numbers. So that means now that we have advantage, we can use our ranged sneak attack. Deal 1d6 plus 3 plus 1d6 piercing damage to a foe if you have advantage against it. So we can sneak attack here against Demaze. We have a higher chance to hit because we are attacking with advantage, and we're going to roll more damage if we do hit. But we still manage to miss, of course, that's always a possibility.
I won't give in.
So back to Gothic Lord. We will just attack with our Firebolt. 9 damage is very good. Then we have Shadowheart again.
On the move.
Right, let's try out our Sacred Flame cantrip. Conjure a flame-like radiance that deals 1d8 radiant damage to a target within range. They must make a dexterity saving throw, and if they succeed, they take no damage. So they did succeed on the saving throw. We do not hurt them, but Lae'zel's up. So Lae'zel attacked, got the condition off balance, and then they attacked us with a bow. But now, with only 4 HP left, should be pretty simple enough to kill them between the 4 of us in the party at the moment. Now we can speak to Lae'zel again.
The tadpole hasn't yet scrambled all your senses. Auspicious. But the longer we wait, the more it consumes. My people possess the cure for this infection. I must find a creche. You will join me.
Lies. Just get rid of her.
So, there is going to be some interpersonal conflict between the possible party members. That doesn't stop you from recruiting anybody, but it might impact the relationship that they have between one another. We will journey together. Let's find this creche.
You have made an ally from Creche Kalir. Few know such fortune. Call me Lae'zel.
Fool. No point in showing a mad dog kindness. It'll still bite you in the end.
You've a sharp tongue, elf. Would that your mind proved its equal.
Half-elf. I suppose the finer details are lost on a creature like you.
Come. The Horned Ones mentioned a camp. One there, this Zoru, has seen Githyanki. A creche must be near. We will ask this Zoru where he has seen my kin.
So that conversation ends, and Lae'zel has now joined the party. And Lae'zel is currently level 1, but we can now level her up to level 2 as well. Let's just check out her level 1 character sheet. This will be very familiar to us because this is the same as what we saw over on the ship. So we still have the weapon proficiency stuff. We have Second Wind that can heal her. Pommel Strike, another weapon proficiency. And then we can come down here to level 1 fighter and level up to level 2. So at level 2 we have more hit points, and we get a new class feature, Action Surge. Push yourself beyond your limits, gain an extra action. And that is all we get at level 2. So Action Surge here is not an action or a bonus action. It just unlocks the ability to take 2 actions within 1 turn, and it comes back on a short rest. And now we have a party of 4.
Let's move.
So we can, of course, loot the bodies. Daggers, leather armor, simple stuff. Let's just see if there's anything we would want to equip here. I'm going to send this to Astarion, and we can check him.
Well, hello.
So Astarion is currently wearing padded armor. It's in the light armor classification, and it provides 11 armor class, and he has +3 from his dexterity score being 17, which is a +3 modifier, giving him a total armor class of 14. Now, the disadvantage here is that the wearer of this item has disadvantage on their stealth rolls. So when they're trying to hide, they will roll 2d20 on their stealth check and use the lower of the two. However, if we upgrade to standard leather armor instead of padded armor, it's also light armor, also has a armor class of 11 plus dexterity. However, this does not have disadvantage on stealth rolls. So whilst he's going to look slightly less fancy, we are going to have a better time trying to sneak around as a rogue. So he now has his fresh leather armor tunic. Now, for the rest of us,
A dull moment.
Gothic is not proficient with light armor, so we can't gain any benefit from that.
What am I to do?
Shadowheart already has medium armor, which offers 13 AC plus her dexterity bonus.
Indolence breeds madness.
And Lae'zel has Githyanki half-plate, medium armor, and +1 from her dexterity bonus. So none of us would gain any benefit from putting on the other leather armor that we have picked up.
Is that blood?
So
Never
otherwise for now, we'll just see if everyone is happily equipped with a ranged option.
Oh, enough waiting.
Yep,
I
so
crave blood.
we don't need to put any short bows into anybody else's hands. So we will press on.
Forward.
So over in this direction, there is a large scripted battle that is very important to the progressing of the campaign. But for now, with this party of 4, we are able to move along and go into what could be classified as the first proper dungeon in the game. So we can see here on the map that Warren is in yellow, and so that means there may not be directly a threat to us if we were to approach them. And moving the camera over, we can see we've got a few people speaking below. There is somebody up here walking around, and we can just see the name and their level and hit points, but we can't see what class they are. If we right click and examine, we can see some more of their details. So we know that this guy is a gnome, so their movement speed is only 25 feet, and we can see their other stats. Now, you might choose to not look at those if you don't want to kind of gamify your encounters, but that information is there for you if you want it. And so we can approach here and try and have a conversation with these folks and see if there's any benefits to be gleaned. Before we do that, let's have Shadowheart cast Guidance on Gothic.
No one stops
Then
me.
he'll have an additional D4
Gods are watching me.
if we need to try and convince anyone of anything.
You! Not another step, hear me? Boss! Got company up here!
What's this then? Trying to creep around us and loot the crypt? Not happening. Or is it the ship you're after? Don't matter either way. It's ours. All of it.
I mean no harm, I'm just looking around. The ship is full of monsters, I wouldn't go near it. I think that ship's an invasion force. Run while you can. The only thing you own is your life. Leave before I take that too, or we can simply attack immediately. So, Persuasion and Deception are our two higher stats. Let's see if we can get them to just run away. So, difficulty class of 12, we have our Charisma, our proficiency bonus, and the extra 1d4 from our guidance. So an 8 would fail, but with all of our other modifiers, we do succeed.
Well, in that case, come on you lot. No point in getting killed. Second worm gets the cheese and all.
Second mouse gets the cheese, no?
Nobody's getting any damn cheese. Now move it.
Alright, so this particular party
Kill them.
is just going to leave. Lae'zel wish we had just killed them.
Best be on my way.
I don't know if they will crop up again. I haven't done this encounter this way before,
Going.
even after several hundred hours in game, still teaching me new things. So down there, excuse me, down there is an ornate door that is locked. We can try and get through that way, Or here, there is some crumbled ground beneath us, marked as a cracked stone. And up here, there is a foundation block and a coiled rope. So if we didn't want to try and take the locked door, maybe we weren't confident in our ability to get through such a locked door, we could come over here, and if we make sure we're just nice and clear of the location, perhaps Astarion, as a good shot, can shoot this coiled rope. It has 1 HP. And that punches a hole here in the ground. So then
Don't linger.
we can click the area beneath it. We will climb down. And we find ourselves in a strange bed chamber. And we made too much noise. So these folks have decided we are a threat and this must be dealt with. So, right now, I believe all of us have dark vision. Did Githyanki have dark vision? No. That's probably what that tutorial was trying to tell me. So, many races have natural dark vision, meaning that if they're having combat in a space like this, they will still be able to perceive their enemies and not have any problems in attacking them. But somebody like Lae'zel, without dark vision, if we try and attack somebody who is obscured by shadow, we will have to do so at disadvantage because we don't see them so well. So we can use things like natural candles and torches, or spells like the light cantrip in order to illuminate the area around us. So the first two have taken their turns. We have an ensnaring strike that is currently impacting Gothic Lord. Cannot move and takes 1d6 piercing damage per turn. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, while the creature's attack rolls and dexterity saving throws have disadvantage. So Gothic is not up yet. We have another turn to go, but we have the other 3 available to us. And here there is an oil barrel, indicated by the large red band. So let's see if we can show off another feature here. If we take Astarion, who has his bow out there, one of the options here is dip. As a bonus action, dip a weapon into a surface, alters the surface or enhances the weapon. So we can dip our weapon into the Isle Candelabra.
Give me an edge.
And now his arrow is on fire. So if we go to our attack, it's 1d6 plus 3 piercing plus 1d4 fire. Now that can try and attack our foes and it will do a little bit more damage if we hit. Or we can use the environment to our advantage and shoot the oil barrel. Oil, of course, burns. So they have a real bad time of that, and many of them have died in that explosion alone. There is just Hazid behind this door. The person who was concentrating on the spell that had Gothic entrapped is no longer concentrating on that spell because they have died. So let's see if we can find a way to kill this other person. We can't get close enough to attack them with our melee weapon. Question is, can we attack through the geometry of the door with a ranged weapon? We cannot. The path is interrupted by the door. So instead, can we think of any other way we could hurt them? Well, we could throw something else explosive or similar. But what we can also notice from where we are stood, we used about half of our movement to get to where we are. And to get to him is the rest of our movement, another 20 feet or so, 15 feet. So if they want to attack us, they're going to have to move at least that far. So if Lae'zel moves back to here and passes, Shadowheart also can't make this shot, so she will pass.
Can't stay idle.
Gothic Lord might be able to... No, Poison Spray is going to be too short a range. So we will also pass. So they've dipped their weapon as a bonus action. And they made the decision not to try and run through the fire, which is very interesting. So instead, let's move Shadowheart up behind this wall, and then we will pass with everybody. Now, he has run in and attacked Shadowheart. Evidently, this fire did not last long enough to protect him from moving in a second time. And now Shadowheart has been dazed. Has disadvantage on wisdom saving throws, can't take reactions, and loses the dexterity bonus to their armor class. Removed if an ally helps this creature. That is a bad time, but now we have the full party available to make attacks. So let's start with a little stab here. And we rolled a natural 20, which means we rolled a critical. When you roll a critical, you roll all of the dice associated with the attack twice, then add any modifiers. So the dazed condition on Shadowheart has now been removed just because a few turns have elapsed now that we are out of initiative. And so we can begin to loot the space around us.
Everything looks new.
These folks here are going to have the same kinds of adventuring supplies that we have had.
Oh, I'll need to rest soon.
Now, we can continue to pick up everything that we find, but we must be wary that if we go into our character sheet, we can see that each character has a total carrying capacity. And so this is 20 times your strength. So Astarian strength is 8. So not the modifier, but the actual strength score. 8 times 20 is 160. But once you get up to a certain band of that, you will become encumbered. And even more than that, you'll become heavily encumbered. And those will impact how much movement speed you have and whether you're able to do things like jump, I believe. Let's check out this rustic chest. A little bit of gold there. And we can just continue now to look through the corpses. This person has some heavy ringmail armor with an armor class of 14. I don't think that's going to be better than what Lae'zel is currently wearing. But as a fighter, she would have the ability to equip such heavy armor. We can see more bodies that have been thrown around the room. Poisons, alchemist's fire, and torches is all good stuff. Scroll of Burning Hands. We should send that to... well, technically, in the current version of Baldur's Gate, any character can cast any class of character can cast any spell scroll. It's only wizards that can learn spells and put them into their spellbook. So I make the decision in my 5th edition playthroughs to only let characters that could cast the spell normally cast the spell scroll, because it's a little bit broken that any class can cast any scroll. But for the purposes of this Overexplained, we'll let him keep the spell, because Astarian can cast this by the mechanics of the game, but that may change in a future update. So, Journey Through the Jungle is just a storybook. I don't think we need to read that right now. And there is an extra set of thieves' tools here on the ground. Of course, holding Alt lets you see those. This door is currently locked. And there's some other chambers to explore, and another area back here with another person. So that's the entryway, or at least one of the ways of entering this dungeon. Next time we will continue to investigate it further and see what more we can find down here. In any case, as ever, if you have any questions about anything that you've seen here, if anything wasn't clear or you want to know anything else, put those questions down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please do consider subscribing and hitting that If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like button or subscribing if you haven't already. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.